it just shows that Mahuro is a really good player, and now he will be waiting in the finals for Valdemar. Let's switch that here real quick so we have the bracket rather. So Valdemar playing against GUA right now. They've been going for about 50 minutes now, so they will. I think they're in game two most likely. So I'm just gonna reset everything here for now, and then we can jump into that real quick. So let's
Yeah,
see
let me know when you
where.
get the Civ drafts up, because I do love Civ drafts.
Oh yeah, I will get them
And
up, but like I just pulled them like for now. Like if as long as I'm working on that, nobody needs to see that, you know.
yeah, so I swear I don't have a bias. I do not have a bias as to who I want to win this one. Not
Mm.
at all. Not in the slightest. Let's go GUA. You heard nothing. You heard
You heard
nothing.
nothing.
Uh,
Okay.
I do think GUA has his hands full. Valdemar is one of the better players, one of the best players in the game. Obviously, he's in that uh, just minuscule, ever so tiny bracket. Easily a top 20 player. So that's always intimidating when you have to go up against a player of that caliber. But I think GUA at in his prime, at his best, could absolutely win the series. I will say, unfortunately, much to my chagrin, slight advantage Valdemar. Just think he's a little bit of a better at this point in time and just closer to the meta. But I so badly want GUA to win. US needs somebody.
You just need somebody. Well, we're gonna see. So I'm just looking at the games. So oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Um. Okay. So the first one, just working on the draft as we speak. Um. First one was okay. I'll just switch the screen. It doesn't matter. So Valdemar against GUA. Um. Let's let's change that here.
Yeah, let me know when you get the bands up. The bands are pretty telling and very interesting.
Yeah, the bands are up on screen, so you should be able to see them now, I think.
So, to nobody's surprise, you have Chinese banned both times. I think the community is sending a message to the devs with that one. But then you have Japanese and HRE banned on both sides. The only difference here is Valdemar banned House of Lancaster, which has lately been a very just terrorizing the ladder, and GUA banning Zushi. So House of Lancaster, the meta has really evolved around that civ to the point where it's a very aggressive feudal civ, and they go with the Abbey of Kings, and they really apply a tremendous amount of pressure. So I think the latter's been seeing that a lot. Valdemar clearly did not want to give GUA the opportunity to do that, so he banned that civ. But this looks a little bit more balanced overall. Valdemar coming in with Byzantines and Rus, two A tier civs, very powerful. Rus, I think you can make the argument as S tier. And then you have some nice balance there with Malians, Delhi, Mongols, House of Lancaster. GUA has Zushi's Legacy. He's also got French and Ayyubids, which are two of my favorite civs. Joan of Arc, which I'm not sure where we would see Joan of Arc, on what map that civ would be really strong. So sort of maybe just a waste pick there, and good old English. So a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. And we actually missed two of the matchups already, and we just barely missed a very fun matchup here. Mongols against French on Frisian no, wait, was it Frisian Marshes? Let me check. I don't think it was Frisian Marshes. It wasn't Cliffside. Oh, that would have been so fun. So fun to see that one.
Yeah, it does look like they are getting ready for game 3, unfortunately. And I'm just looking at this chat. I don't know if it's going in GU's favor, so I might be a little disappointed.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Valdemar is up 2-0 for now. So looking like he's gonna close out the series fairly soon. But at the same time, GWA certainly not out yet. And it's again, it's best of 5. So GOA could come with the reverse sweep. Maybe Valdemar is a little bit sleepy today or whatever. He had to wait for a while, so maybe he's just tired and um. But either way, let's see. I'll just invite you real quick, and then we can. I think they started their next game already.
Yeah, I'm not sure what time it is in Europe. I do know that GOA is sort of Western United
Mhm.
States. Not exactly sure where he is, but he's definitely not on East Coast time. So GOA, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ton of energy. His day's just starting. Valdemar on the other side, coming out of Europe, is a little bit in the back end of his day. So, you know,
Mhm.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe we get the reverse sweep here. But for now, we have Rus versus Ottomans, and I know this is the second time I've casted Ottomans today. It's not a civ I really see frequently in high
Mhm.
level tournaments. So, again, that meta is still sort of being developed here. I don't think we're going to see a Dark Age military school from GUA only because, what are you going to do? Pressure Rus's gold?
Yeah. That's the thing. Like military school, I would definitely not expect in this one. But speaking about having not seen Ottomans for a whole lot, in every series that we've cast today, or that I casted today in this tournament, there was Ottomans being played. So um, and like HRE hasn't been played in every series. So far, it's just his Legacy hasn't been played in every series, and so on. So Rus has been played in every series. Ottomans have been played in every series. Mongols have been played twice. English hasn't been played at all. So House of Lancaster has been played twice. So you see, like Ottomans definitely. Well, okay, while I'm saying that, Casa Curse is alive and well. We do have a military school coming up. That is so insane. Like, I mean, I'm saying insane. It's just interesting to me, most of foremost.
Yeah, so GUA must be thinking deny pro scouts, and that's where the military school's coming in.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get any value out of this Dark Age Spearman beyond just denying pro scouts. That's all I can think of. So he's just starting to
Mm.
get a couple spears because spears are a very useful tool in denying pro scouts. They're going to force Valdemar into an archery range, which I think long term he wants anyway.
Yeah.
But Sipahi spear could be a pretty good comp to get into to start denying some of these pro scouts. Valdemar using a scout to just sort of do an early deer push with these starting deer. Almost has the first one in place
Wow.
there. Deer pushes recently got a nerf where the amount of time between when a deer will move and the distance they move got reduced.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still, if you're patient, it still kind of works. It doesn't work exactly as well as it used to be. Um, But yeah, I mean, if the distance is that short, you can actually push it in, and so that's what he's doing right now. And I mean, speaking about that, like Valdemar is one of the best in this game, and so it is really nice to see him play. He also has some, shout out to him. He also has some really nice content on YouTube. Some very good and helpful guides and build order videos and all that kind of stuff. So he's one of those kind of content creators and professional players, so really nice. He's also one of those players who qualified for King of the Rockies, so we will be able to see him live and in person, in the flesh in Denver. I had the pleasure to briefly meet him in Hamburg earlier this year, so he's a very young player, but yeah, very cool guy. So I'm happy that he was able to qualify alongside with his buddy MSN and yeah, so looking forward to that. Whatever else he will be bringing to the scene in the future. Um, Speaking about the game here, Golden Gate, Minaret, Twin Minaret Madrasa, no surprises here at all so far. Yeah, just pretty standard. Like besides this military school, which makes sense later on, very standard stuff.
Yeah, so GUA moved Fred, his first spearman, onto the other side of the map. He's currently killing the deer, using his scout on the west side of the map to kill the deer. That's just going to make pro scouts annoying. Doesn't prevent pro scouts. It's just like, in order to queue up all the deer, I now need to send a scout there first. I can't do it through the fog of war anymore.
Yeah.
So very nicely done from GUA there, and looks like Valdemar had a hunting cabin queued up, but his villagers just went straight to the berries, and Valdemar does catch it. 3 villagers are being pulled to build this hunting cabin, so they will not be walking 10,000 miles to drop off a low gather rate berry. I am a little curious as to why he's on berries so early, especially when he has the deer there. He still has sheep. Is a very interesting choice.
Yeah.
But maybe he wants to go fast castle and he's just trying to gather the resources that aren't protected. And yeah, he's just gathering resources that aren't protected by his TC. You see all those villagers there on the outside of the TC range trying to gather it up. Scout coming over, scouts this out. And spearmen are not too far behind. I don't think he'll be able to get a villager kill here. Valdemar's too good of a player to let 2 spears just pick off a villager.
Yeah, and on the flip side, he actually might be able to kill the. I mean, they're only Dark Age spearmen, right? So in those numbers, 11 villagers against 2 spearmen, he might actually be able to just, kill them, hunt them down, kill them. And with the berries, the other thing is, if you're gathering from the deer now, you don't have survival techniques, and so it takes longer. Like, it's still a very good gather rate, obviously, but it takes longer for you to actually do it. TC getting some shots in here, so Spearmen already have health, so again, if he wanted to, he could actually contest the 2 Spearmen here. He shouldn't be too worried here. Wooden Fortress will also do its thing relatively soon.
Spearman gets too close to the TC, does die, unfortunately. Wooden Fortress, you think, is there to protect the gold, but Valdemar's Ruse, he doesn't care about gold, it's just there to get the drop-off bonus for wood. And I think Valdemar's just, in his mind, he's like, how do I get to castle without investing in any military? I'm just gonna go make some horse archers take care of these spears. He really is just doesn't wanna play feudal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. And it's a really nice strategy we see here from him. Like, again, as you said, like, no investment into military schools at all. He has 3 tickets sitting in his golden gate for now. Is he buying stone?
Yeah. He must have bought stone. It's the only way he got 25 stone.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he bought stone, and now he's getting the arrow slits here. As
and
well
castle
as
turret.
Castle turret. Oh my.
Yeah, so this is gonna be his little fortress that he's going to live and die by. He's investing in that heavily. Arrow slits coming in now, and looks like GUA is trying to move around to the backside and attack these berries. And without pro scouts, Valdemar doesn't have enough food, and I think he knows that. Archers are gonna do some damage to villagers, but they're gonna be able to pull back and not really, no loss of life there. And a tower rush coming in from GUA. You have that tower up on the wood line.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it will eventually, get around there. Yeah, they will have the arrow slits, so he will have 1 more range, but also shoot in general. So that will be, yeah, as long as you scout it somehow, you scout the woodline somehow, this will actually deny the woodline here. So a little bit annoying here for Valdemar. He doesn't have the wood right now to invest more right now. Into more fortresses in the front. There is a high trade house coming up. So a very risky play. It's like no military pacifist style, but for now it's really working out for him.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get the best high trade house, but on this map I don't think there's really much room for a good high trade house.
Yeah.
So he'll get access to the food, but the issue for Valdemar now is without pro scouts, he's gonna get one deer every 60 seconds, which is nice, but he's really gonna have to figure out his food situation. And GUA on the other side, he's the one applying pressure. He could, gather all the food he wants on the map. He can be on deer, he could be on the berries if he wanted to, he can be on Valdemar's deer if he wanted to. Meanwhile, he's also going up to castle. And so Valdemar, now from a unit comp perspective, kind of in this awkward position here. If he goes horse archers, GUA's got a fair amount of regular archers there, which will trade okay into horse archers. If he goes for knights, there's enough spears there, and it looks like he's going for barracks, so it's men-at-arms that are going to come.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Rus men-at-arms earlier this day as well, so far already. So that definitely could be an option. I mean, Ottomans does have a few good options to deal with the men-at-arms. They have the Janissaries, they can go for Springles with the Imperial Armory, so they get that for free even.
Sipahi work perfectly fine, even in Feudal Age against men-at-arms. So GUA is going up to Castle Age, so GUA is going to be able to counter with his own knights if he wants to. Very, very interesting play from Valdemar on this map. He does have access to the berries again. One archer there is going to pester him. Men-at-arms on his way over. Castle Age coming in from GUA. At the same time, he picks off a scout there, so Valdemar is blind. Not that big of a deal. He'll just queue up another scout from the hunting cabin, but that's 65 wood he needs to invest in it. GUA knows about the men-at-arms play, so I expect to see crossbows. Yeah, you have crossbows in queue coming out from GUA. Military schools are also switched over to crossbows. So GUA gets the critical piece of information that he needs, so now he can counter it appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, I love not seeing pro scouts for one, so, oh, another scout losing their life. But yeah, Warrior Monk is getting alerted here, so that relic is not gonna be his for now. And it's really interesting. You give up all that map control for the super defensive fast castle play, and then you have to claw your way back into it. I'm not sure if I'm personally, I love seeing that. I'm not sure if I would play it the same way.
Yeah, Men-at-Arms looking to break out, get some of this map control back. Valdemar putting down a couple farms, which always feels bad. For the time being, these Men-at-Arms are going to push GUA back, but GUA's got more crossbows on the way over. And once he gets a big enough contingent of crossbows, these Men-at-Arms are not gonna really be what you want here.
But GUA not really paying super close attention to the rally points here. Actually will lose the first crossbow moving out here. A little bit of a miss macro here. And then Man-at-Arms is still chasing them on the left side. This is kind of funny. It's like the slowest moving chase here.
Yeah, I would like to see GUA start collecting relics. Valdemar has the first one in right now. Mango finally hits the field for GUA. And 8 crossbows on the field, 4 more in queue. Valdemar moving across the field with his men-at-arms, and looks like GUA is just not going to see them. So those men-at-arms could get into GUA's eco and do some damage.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, he should have seen it. So especially with the mangonel, he should know about that, and he could react to it. Now, yeah, he's splitting off the crossbows, pulling them back. He needs to defend the mangonel. That's a lot of value that he would lose otherwise. I think he actually could take that fight if he wants to kite it back and forth a little bit, almost one-shotting the men-at-arms here. Just like one or two more.
Mango is not gonna be able to get away. Oh no, crossbow's coming to defend the Mango. Mango will be perfectly fine. Valdemar needs to get horsemen. Actually, you know what? I don't think horsemen really help him. GiveUA has a lot of spears. So Valdemar being forced into this really early farm transition because he didn't have pro scouts. And GiveUA with all the map control now, and these men-at-arms are getting pushed back. I think GiveUA is in a strong position to take this one.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that, yeah.
Critical mass of crossbows, 15 on the field right now. This front has 12, pushing Valdemar's men-at-arms back, and Valdemar needs to go back to the drawing board here. He's switching into horse archers, which are sort of a food wood heavy unit, more food heavy, but he's got the farms in place now, so it's not that big of the deal. And horse archers is the back line, pretty good as a back line to men-at-arms.
Yeah, it's really curious. The thing is, when you said he was forced into an early farm transition, I do wonder if was he really forced, or was that his game plan? Because I would say he should have had the opportunity to go pro scouts if he wanted to, right?
No, because in order for pro scouts to get value, he would have had to invest in additional military to combat GiveUA's Dark Age military that he put on the field. GiveUA is now collecting relics. I like it. I swear I don't have a bias.
No, of course not.
Alright. So yeah, the farm transition for Valdemar does slow him down. The wood drop-off does help ease the pain just a little bit here. But still, tempo right now is sort of in GiveUA's favor, and horse archers might run into, they see it somehow, and they don't run into that buzzsaw of crossbows right there. But now GiveUA, he needs to, put this game out of sight. He needs to just end it. Put down rams, put down, some units that can actually kill Valdemar's buildings. Because he's got the map control, he forced an early farm transition. This is his timing.
Yeah. At the same time, the issue that GiveUA is running into, his initial gold that ran out, and he went on a secondary gold here, which he mined close to 1,000 gold from. But Valdemar, because of the neutral posts here, the abandoned outposts, was able to scout all of that, and he actually killed 5 villagers and shut down the gold income. So GiveUA, with the military schools and with the Mehmet Imperial Armory, he will still have some okay military production, but currently he doesn't have any gold income other than 1 relic. And more villagers getting killed here, actually 10, that was close to 10 villagers, there's a 10th one, so killing a few villagers here, sacrificing the horse archers, but 11 villager kills, bringing GiveUA to the back foot, or on the back foot actually, at least
GiveUA summoned a Janissary company, and now he's pushing into Valdemar's base. And Mangonels will do perfectly fine against the wooden fortress here. So forward wooden fortress not going to be able to hold, and Valdemar doesn't have enough military here to really fight and win this fight.
Yeah, no, he clearly doesn't have to. He needs to forfeit that fortress for now. But at the same time, we've seen a few Rus bases being very defensive in the earlier series, where time and time again Rus was able to hold this with the wooden fortress, with the town center, and this, I mean, I don't know, the Mangonels, they're super annoying, but there's still a couple men-at-arms here in the front, standing strong here, even though, yeah, I mean, the crossbow janissaries, that's not cool to run into that for sure.
Yeah, GiveUA, he puts on a couple rems here. He's wiped most of Valdemar's military here. Mango's firing on the horse archers. Valdemar sort of forced off some of these farms, forced to fall back here. It's looking good for GiveUA right here. He needs to be careful though. He doesn't have any armor. The TC is just taking out a lot of his army. It's an entirely unarmored army. He might be throwing here.
Yeah, that's
just letting that TC go to work on his army. Not good.
No, that's the thing. Like the horse archers, they can just kite back. They're faster, and he just pulls. Valdemar pulls GUA in. Like I want to say masterfully almost. And yeah, Stringle going down here. Look at that damage. Yeah, villagers also. Um, and even after all the time, I mean, yeah, that's a lot of idle time for sure. But even after all of that, the villager kills still slightly in favor for Valdemar. So yes, that was a very good fight from TUA and doing a lot of damage. Absolutely, no question about that. But at the same time, he was also losing basically all his army. And Valdemar now 12 horse archers. He can just circle around and kill the villagers here again on the gold. And TUA again, like he barely has any gold income. It's the 160 gold per minute is just from the from the two relics that he has.
Yeah, GUA still with the military lead here. Those military schools putting in work, but doesn't have enough to kill Valdemar here. And Valdemar just buying his time. He's leaning into his TC just to kind of kill a lot of GUA's unarmored units, and the TC just getting a ton of value here. GUA just needs something. Trebuchets, Rams. He could end this. He could win this. He just needs something to take down that TC. He's constricted. He's squeezed. He's done everything he's supposed to do. He just needs something to kill that TC to end this game.
Yeah, that TC right now is definitely the stronghold for the Rus horse for the Rus. And speaking about Rus here, the horse archers circling in here. There's two outposts, so that should be helpful for GUA here to defend. Or
They're
to
gonna body block.
Yeah, just body block them nicely, shotting one by one. Getting a few kills at least. Of course, some of them will get away, but that's another 4 villager kills that he's getting there. Meanwhile, let's move back to the base here, rather, because GUA also is, putting up the pressure here again, moving into the town center. But as you said, he doesn't have any armored units there. They're all light armored units, and they will get down really fast by the town center.
Even
with 15 villagers inside.
Yeah, a Mector here to give his army additional ranged armor would be so valuable. GUA's getting a lot of idle time. He's able to, cause some chaos in Valdemar's space, but he's not really getting a lot of value from these units other than idle time. Not able to, pick off any villagers. He's now moving north here. These springs are gonna just slowly pick at his military, and yeah, GUA forced back again.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, idle time is very valuable, so I wouldn't underestimate that part, even though he didn't kill any villager in that, endeavor here, but it is valuable. Like, he is doing a lot of damage, he is trying to do his best here, and he's also moving to the second town center just to get a little bit more eco, power behind his attacks.
Yeah, these horse archers, though, doing work. Picking off a lot of villagers here. Second town center, gonna get up, but at what cost?
Yeah. I mean, 20 villager kills, that is really valuable here, and just annoying to deal with. Not to mention that he also gained some valuable insights into the army composition. If we're looking at, he knows that there's at least 1 man at arm now. So he potentially needs to figure out how to deal with that. He sees there's still a ton of range, so he's moving into horsemen now as well. So horseman, horse archer. So very mobile, very flexible comp, and with the exception of the man at arm, which admittedly there's only one. Very good to, very very capable to deal with GUA's army.
So now we have knights coming out from GUA, which are going to be a fantastic raiding unit. Valdemar had to sort of spread his eco across. Hasn't really walled up here, so knights, I really like that decision from GUA. But again, here's another situation where GUA has the military lead. He can continue to constrict Valdemar, but he just doesn't have anything to take down the static defenses effectively.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, I do wonder if it would be better to have the Mehmet Imperial Army just produce trebuchets or rams, just to have something that deals a little bit more effectively with static defenses. Um, it finds a couple villager kills here, so is not letting off the pressure here at all. And
No, you also have both sacred sites captured by GUA, so he just put Valdemar on a clock, and he's done a really good job of sort of keeping Valdemar in his base, keeping Valdemar to a low military count. He's had the advantage for basically since the start of this game. He just, needs to convert somewhere.
yeah,
And
yeah, he just
spring towers, oh, they are just ripping apart as he attempts to maneuver his military for more of a frontal assault. Meanwhile, Valdemar with 12 horsemen going to raid this backside. They're going to get a lot of value here if they find the pocket eco.
and it looks like, we moved in back in time, Delhi, 2023 or whatever, with the palisade wall around the sacred site on the left, at least the blueprint. The villagers will find an unwelcome surprise in the horsemen, but it kind of looks like GUA actually wants to solidify that sacred victory possibility at least a little bit.
GUA pushing these wooden fortresses with all these spring towers are doing a lot, and GUA discovers that unfortunately Valdemar made a horseman transition, and GUA does not have any spearmen. So these horsemen are going to rip apart the siege. They're going to rip apart these archers. This is quickly turning against GUA here.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, GUA doesn't have a scout, so he wasn't able to scout that out. And that horseman, now a couple crossbows even in the mix for Valdemar with the man-at-arms. Like, that's a... He still has the horse archers, but other than that, it's a complete shift in his army composition, and GUA was not ready for that. And we see the numbers here in the front really going, I mean, basically completely down to zero here. He still has a couple military units somewhere, like mainly the knights, so they will be really nice, but at the same time, there's crossbows, so they won't be too nice actually.
I don't think there's a way back in. Second town center's coming under fire. Horsemen are going to burn it down. Men-at-arms are going to burn it down. GUA's army is gone. He's got nothing to fall back on, and horse archers are going to jump on top of these military schools. I think Valdemar did it. I think Valdemar held.
How did that happen? Like, this is... I mean, insane.
It's the value that Valdemar got from his TC. I know that he had villagers garrisoned in there and it idled his economy, but it was doing more damage to GUA's military than the idle damage being done to him. And just the periods where GUA had the advantage, he had no way to take down static defenses. And here you go. Great Bombard is going to fire into the blob, but there's just not enough here.
Yeah.
Valdemar's horsemen just swinging around and just getting a good surround.
Yeah, I mean, units pumping out here, and I mean, he does have the GUA does have the advantage that they're producing and are right there available, but if we're looking at the numbers, there's almost nothing there anymore. The Great Bombard that he had to sacrifice the 0 point for is gone now, and there's more horsemen and horse archers streaming in from the back, and I do think that's the end of the rope. The second goal here is also running out, or did also run out here. So GUA again being confined to like just what the sacred sites, or the one sacred site and the relics provide him with, and I mean, it looks like he's holding though. As I'm saying that, like, at least for now, but there's more reinforcements.
There's a conga line. There's a conga line coming from Valdemar's base, right? By now, that massive farm transition that Valdemar was forced into early has paid off. GUA, he's gathered up a lot of map resources. He's forced to do his own farm transition right now, and Valdemar's just messing that up. Horsemen over in the wood line, over in the farm transition, and he's just smothering him.
Wow. That is, I mean, not exactly how you usually would see Ruse being played, I would say, but okay. I think that
I,
really has to do with Valdemar knows that map. I mean, he was, practicing that for the qualifiers. He was playing it in the qualifiers for King of the Rockies. And he was practicing this like I don't know how many times, like dozens of times. And he knows where the gold in this is on this map, and he knows if he has the food safe underneath his base, his opponent needs to go out on the map at some point, and that will be the moment when he can clap on him. So I think that was just the map, like shifting his strategy in the way that we've seen.
yeah, so for me, it's it's that fight that was taken at Valdemar's base at the just after 15, maybe 16
Hmm.
minutes there. If you just look at the military graph, you can kind of see,
Brutal.
yes, Valdemar lost a lot, but GUA lost a lot. And it was just the static defenses that Valdemar invested in that were paying dividends, and GUA's military comp was non-armor. It was archers, it was crossbow, it was spears, right? There was no Mector there to give them +1 ranged defense. So the town center, the spring towers, the wooden fortresses had an outsized effect on all of those fights. So if GUA, I just, if he had come with Rams, I think he wins right then and
Hmm.
there.
Yeah, I agree. If he would have gotten the town center down in return, like even if he lost as much as he did, if he just gotten the town center down, that would have been such a big damage into Valdemar's eco. And yeah, I mean the fights, like this was a brutal fight. The other one, like he lost, Gujue lost twice as many units in the first fight. He lost twice as many units in the second fight. He lost 6 times as many units in the third fight, and then it was just over.